Tay scared of him. He's a child abuse. Y'all want to know the truth? He done abused him when he there.
I left with so much blood, bro. It's blood on my son.
Arcola just dropped a live video, and the internet lit up fast. When it comes to NBA YoungBoy and the mothers of his kids, drama has never been far behind, but this situation hit a whole different level. A tense clip of YoungBoy and Arcola started making rounds online, and the claims being thrown around are heavy. This time, YoungBoy isn't staying silent.
Man, my house, my motherfucking house stay full of cheering, man. Hey, I'm just out of that fake. I'm out of that stage of posting it, you bitch.
And Arcola isn't the only one speaking up either. Around March 2026, Arcola, the mother of YoungBoy's son Kaell, jumped on Instagram Live and called out both YoungBoy and his wife, Jazlyn Mychelle. She came forward with strong claims and her version of events, speaking on what she says took place while her son was under their supervision. She was completely serious and stood firm on everything she said.
You a sneaky you over there playing your cards right so you can get what you want. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I hope you milk that for everything he got.
Arcola came straight at Jazlyn with it and didn't hold back. She said Jazlyn wasn't stepping up the way a real wife should and accused her of moving in silence, playing everything smart just to lock in the lifestyle and secure her spot. Then the conversation took a sharp turn when she brought the kids into the discussion.
I made sure he went to court to get custody of his kid. See your kid. What are we talking about?
Arcola made it clear that, in her view, family responsibilities should always come first. She said if it were her, she would have pushed for everything to be handled the right way in court and made sure responsibilities toward the children were taken care of. She made one thing clear. The kids shouldn't be caught in the middle of grown people's issues.
This is a seed you created. Kids are innocent. They are innocent. They have nothing to do with nothing.
And then she hit even harder, straight up labeling him absent as a parent. That alone had people talking heavy, but Arcola was far from finished.
Yeah, he is a deadbeat. He is. He been one. He been one.
Then Arcola shifted the focus to something involving her son's hand, and that's when things got even more intense. She said her son had an injury, and according to what she was told, it was supposedly caused by a dog bite. But Arcola made it clear she wasn't convinced at all.
You know how I know he didn't get bit by a dog? Because when I texted her and asked her what happened to his finger, she responded like this: he got bit by a dog now.
She said the explanation came back way too quick, almost like the story was already lined up and ready to go. In her eyes, if it really was a dog bite, there should have been medical records or a doctor visit to back it up.
If he got bit by a dog, why I didn't take my baby to the doctor to get a tetanus shot?
That's when she pulled up photos on the screen and broke down what she noticed. After looking closely, Arcola said she believed it didn't look like a dog bite at all. She claimed it looked like a burn instead.
Let's see what dog bites look like. That's not a dog bite. That is a burn. I could see the brown at the top. That is a burn.
Arcola made it clear she feels like she's been carrying the weight for her son on her own from the very beginning. No extra help, no backup, just her handling everything day by day and making sure her child was good.
That's that deadbeat.
Pick him up again.
That's all he do. Pick him up, take a picture, put him in a video. He do jazz kids the same way.
But she said it wasn't only about her child. Arcola claimed the situation stretched wider and said concerns about how the kids were being treated had been building for a while. She even brought up favoritism, saying it was a serious issue and that she was done staying quiet about it.
You're mad at me for taking you to court? If you ain't gonna be there physically, you need to help financially because I didn't make it myself.
She also said that if he wasn't going to show up in person and be present, the least he could do was help provide support and handle his responsibilities. And then she hinted at something even bigger, something she claimed could shake up what people think they know.
He could tell the whole world he didn't want the baby, but he's gonna leave out the part when he told me, Kaell, I'm actually happy you kept my little boy.
Arcola said that was exactly what he told her, word for word, and now she was watching him tell a completely different story in public. According to her, he was acting like he never wanted the child from the start, and she wasn't letting that slide. She called the whole thing fake and said the story wasn't adding up. After her live ended, YoungBoy jumped on X and fired back, and his response had social media in chaos. He reportedly made it clear that, when it came to their son, he would handle financial support and keep it at that. That response sparked a huge wave of backlash, with people shocked by how cold it sounded. Just days later, his social pages were suddenly wiped clean, and that only made the situation look even louder. But Arcola wasn't the only one speaking out. Other mothers connected to YoungBoy had their own stories, and some of what they shared carried the same kind of tension and frustration. While Arcola's situation became the biggest viral moment around March 2026, the issues being talked about didn't start or end there. Another mother, Nia, had reportedly been dealing with her own serious concerns, and then Nia's mother stepped forward on live to speak on what she says she witnessed herself. And what she shared went way beyond court issues or support talk. She claimed her grandson was deeply uncomfortable and fearful around his father, and that statement had people paying serious attention fast. Nia's mother did not hold back when she got on live. She spoke bluntly and made serious accusations against YoungBoy, saying she believed her grandson's behavior in court reflected deeper issues at home. According to her, the way the child reacted in that courtroom was enough to make her question everything.
Tay scared of him. He's a child abuse. Y'all want to know the truth? He done abused him when he there.
This wasn't a polished statement or some carefully planned interview. It was a grandmother speaking from emotion and putting her concerns out in public for everybody to hear. She claimed there had been physical discipline involved, and that accusation instantly made the whole situation feel way heavier.
He done beat him because when we went to court, my baby was scared to fucking death.
Then she described what that courtroom moment looked like from her point of view. She said when the child and his father were in the same room, the energy felt tense, and the child seemed overwhelmed and uneasy. In her eyes, it wasn't regular nerves, and she believed it showed fear, and that hit hard.
Tay was scared to death. My first time seeing them together, I told Nia then, I said, don't you ever let him go back to his friend.
She said after seeing that, she made a firm decision and told her daughter she didn't want the child going back into that situation until things were handled properly. And just when people thought that was the full story, she brought up another past situation that she said had been overlooked for way too long. Nia's mother then brought up another intense situation that caught people completely off guard. She said someone named Shahanda called them late at night, around midnight, telling them to come get the child right away because a dangerous incident had broken out nearby.
And they must forgot the time Shahanda called us so to come get Tay.
She called at 12 o'clock in the morning. They had a whole shootout with my grandbaby.
That claim had people stunned, especially with the child allegedly in the home while all that chaos was happening. The picture she painted was intense, a late-night emergency call, a dangerous situation unfolding, and a child right in the middle of it all.
Because he a rapper with millions? Yeah. It's about his safety and who loves him. Most don't love him.
That alone had social media talking heavy. But she wasn't done. She also brought up what she saw as another troubling issue, claiming communication between him and his child had stopped over a disagreement involving a watch. Not a court issue, not a custody matter, but a piece of jewelry. To her, that said a lot about where things stood.
He love him so much, but damn near got killed with him. What the f? Y'all don't know how. This the same man ain't called his child because of a fucking watch.
You could hear the frustration in her voice loud and clear. This wasn't somebody watching from the sidelines or commenting for attention. This was a grandmother speaking on what she says she watched up close day after day. She talked about missed calls, silence, and moments where communication just never happened. She said she watched excuses pile up over time and saw her daughter trying to answer hard questions from a young child who kept asking where his father was. According to her, the child would ask about him every day, and every day Nia gave the same answer. He working.
This child asks for his daddy every single day, like every day. I can't do nothing but tell him, daddy working, daddy working, daddy working, he working.
That became the repeated explanation. Daddy's working. Every time the question came up. Then she addressed the argument people always bring up in these situations. The phone works both ways. She said she understood that, but claimed it becomes impossible to communicate when one side has allegedly blocked the other.
And you're right, phone do work both ways, so how can I call somebody if I'm blocked? Be real now, come on now, be real.
That detail changed the whole conversation and made people look at the situation differently. To her, that was the piece too many people ignored. She told viewers to stop acting like communication problems are always equal when, in her view, one side had completely shut the door. Nia's mother made it clear she was tired of people acting like the situation was equal when, in her view, access and communication had already been cut off.
Or even call and say is he dead or alive.
This is an innocent child. He's 3 years old.
Her message was simple. Don't treat both sides the same if one side says they've been shut out. She pointed to the child's age too, reminding everyone that he was only 3 years old and already caught in the middle of adult issues. That was the part she said hurt the most. A child dealing with the fallout of grown-up conflict, and you could hear the weariness in her voice. It sounded like someone who had been speaking up for a long time and felt like nobody was really listening. But Nia's mother wasn't the only one speaking on that live. Nia stepped in too, bringing a completely different energy. While her mother came with fire and emotion, Nia stayed calm and measured. She first addressed some social media posts that had people talking, making it clear she had posted something that got taken the wrong way. According to Nia, it wasn't shade and wasn't aimed at anyone directly. Nia explained that the post was simply about how she felt in that moment, nothing more and nothing less. But once it hit social media, people ran with it fast and turned a personal feeling into a full-blown public conversation. The comments came flooding in, with people accusing her of throwing shade and stirring up drama. She shut that down quick and said that was never the energy behind it. Then she addressed the question people kept asking her over and over, why she wasn't pushing harder for her son to spend more time with his father. And on that topic, she was direct. Nia told people to back off and stop pressing her about it. She said if her child was safe, stable, and doing well with his mother, then that's where he needed to be right now, plain and simple.
Stop asking why Tay with control, why Tay with his dad, all that bullshit. Like, at the end of the day, if my child happy with his mama, then let him stay with his mama.
You could hear the exhaustion in her voice. It didn't sound like someone trying to battle things out on Instagram for attention. It sounded like someone who had accepted a difficult reality and was focused on doing what she believed was best for her child.
This ain't the drunk talking because I'm not even that drunk, but I'm going to express my feelings at the end of the day. Yeah, she said what she said. Oh, well, it's a grown woman.
Nia made it clear she wasn't trying to control what her mother said. In her words, her mom is a grown woman and speaks for herself. But at the same time, Nia wasn't trying to keep the conversation stuck in that heated, confrontational space either. She shifted the focus back to what mattered most to her child's well-being. Nia said the real issue had nothing to do with pictures, social media posts, or online drama. To her, it came down to something much more basic: respect and communication. She explained that if YoungBoy could make time to call other people in his life, then reaching out to check on his child shouldn't be impossible. In her eyes, it didn't take much. Just one phone call, one quick check-in, one moment to show concern.
It's the respect, because guess what? Just like you could call and get the mother chair, you could call and get this one too. Ain't nothing wrong with picking up the phone whether you don't like me or you like me.
And Nia kept it honest. She wasn't asking for anything bigger than that. She wasn't looking for a relationship fix or some perfect co-parenting setup. She said all she wanted was a simple sign that the father of her child was still present and thinking about his child.
I'm his daddy. I'm his motherfucking daddy.
Man, look.
He co-parents right here.
He got a good uncle.
Then Nia shifted the spotlight to the people she said had truly been showing up for her son every single day. She started naming names: Terrence, Marla, Johnny. The people she says have been consistent, present, and invested in his life. The ones helping guide him, spending time with him, and giving him real support. She made it clear her son had a strong circle around him. And according to her, that support system wasn't built around YoungBoy. It was built around the people who kept showing up and putting in the time when it mattered most.
He got a good support system, so all this about
sure do.
all this, yeah, whatever.
He's not missing out on anything.
Nia pushed back hard against the online narrative too. A lot of people were acting like her son was somehow missing something because his famous father wasn't always present. But she completely rejected that idea. She said her child had love, stability, and a real foundation from the people around him. And then she dropped what many saw as the most honest part of the live, breaking down the difference between what people assume about YoungBoy's involvement and what she says the reality actually looks like.
You want to be real. But other than that, he don't call his man, he don't ask for him, he don't do for him, but pay the little thank his child support if that's so much of a love.
Nia summed it up by saying, in her view, financial support seemed to be the main form of involvement. She said there weren't regular calls, visits, FaceTimes, or even simple check-ins like, how's the kid doing? To her, that gap between financial support and emotional presence said everything. She closed with a line that captured the frustration both she and her mother had been expressing through the entire live.
At the end of the day, we know I know what's real, and
it came by love.
Their focus wasn't just on money. It was on what they described as emotional distance and lack of consistent connection. But while Nia and her mother were speaking on emotional absence, Another one of YoungBoy's children's mothers had a completely different story to tell, and this one took a much more intense turn. According to her account, the situation involved a custody exchange that allegedly went wrong and escalated fast. What made this stand out was how direct the footage was. It wasn't a long live stream or a drawn-out back and forth, and it was a short clip, straight to the point, packed with details that immediately grabbed people's attention and raised even more questions. She said she went to pick up her son, expecting a normal custody exchange, but according to her, the situation turned into something no parent should have to face. She claimed that during the exchange, a physical altercation broke out and that she was struck in the face while her child was nearby and witnessed the chaos.
But the fact that you could really let some do some like that in front of your son and sit back and watch, and you know what he kept saying to me?
What made the story hit even harder was her claim that YoungBoy was present during the incident. According to her, he didn't step in and instead watched the situation unfold. She said, after everything was over, the only thing he focused on was telling her she had disrespected him, and that left people stunned.
I disrespected him. And I knew this really bothered him because 2 weeks ago, he was like, he's gonna keep him 2 more weeks. I responded to him being dirty.
She also said the custody arrangement had already been stressful long before that moment. In her telling, the pickup schedule kept changing, making it hard to know when she would actually get time with her son. She claimed timelines kept shifting. First one extension, then another, and then another change on top of that. Trying to find a solution, she said she offered a simple plan. How about we just switch off month for month?
First it was wait 2 weeks. Then it was, you can't get him, but you could get him on weekend. I even tried to be fair.
But according to her, that idea was shut down too. She said every time she brought what she felt was a fair compromise, the situation changed again, making it harder to find any real consistency. She said the entire setup felt impossible to navigate, like every move was stacked against her and made it harder to reconnect with her own child. In her view, the custody process had turned into a constant battle with shifting rules and no clear ground to stand on. Then she got to the part that shocked people the most. She claimed that when she finally arrived for the pickup, the situation became physical and she was injured during the confrontation. According to her, the incident turned physical, and she claimed the aftermath left visible stains on her son during all the chaos.
I left with so much blood, bro. It's blood on my son.
A detail that stuck with everyone watching and sparked a lot of reaction. She said no matter what was posted online afterward or how the story was framed publicly, her decision was made. In her words, her son would not be returning to that environment or to anyone connected to that situation.
So make as many fake pages as you need to, because this little boy will never be in the hands of you or anybody in your family.
And she didn't stop there. She also spoke on the financial side of the custody exchange, claiming she was told to cover the flight costs herself just to come pick up her own son. She said the plane ticket alone cost $1,300, and according to her, that wiped out almost her entire budget. In her eyes, the whole custody setup felt less like co-parenting and more like control, with money and timing becoming major obstacles before she could even see her son. She claimed the process became a struggle over access and leverage, saying every step came with another hurdle to clear. And after pushing through all of that just to make the pickup happen, she said the situation still ended in conflict. That part only made the story hit harder online. What stood out was how similar some of these stories sounded, even though each mother described different situations and different details. The common theme, at least from their perspective, was frustration over communication, consistency, and how decisions were being handled. Then another voice entered the conversation. Starr went live and addressed the non-stop internet chatter surrounding her name and her personal life. But unlike the others, Starr wasn't focused on specific incidents or custody exchanges. Her message came from a different angle. She spoke on how quickly people online build stories about someone's life without knowing the full truth. She pushed back on what she called wild assumptions and made it clear she was tired of being reduced to just another piece of somebody else's public drama. While YoungBoy's social pages had gone quiet, Starr came with a direct response for the internet. Her focus wasn't on retelling old situations. It was on calling out the boldness of strangers who act like they know every detail of her life when, according to her, they really don't. Starr said people had been coming at her from every angle, and she made it clear she had reached her limit. The constant comments, opinions, and outside noise had built up, and she felt it was time to speak for herself, and she kept repeating one thing: this was never about attention.
Baby girl, I don't want attention. Turn it down. Who want attention? I don't want no attention.
A lot of people were saying she was doing it for clout, views, or to keep her name trending. But Starr shut that down fast. She made it clear she wanted no part of that kind of spotlight.
Stop coming at me sideways. Y'all don't know me. Like, I will cuss every last one of you out.
Then she got specific about what pushed her to go live in the first place. Starr said someone on Twitter had been speaking on her relationship with YoungBoy like they had private information and knew the full story. And that was the line she wasn't letting slide.
Then y'all speaking on my life like they had one girl on Twitter gonna say, yeah, he do Starr the same way, this, that. You don't know me.
Starr also addressed the financial rumors head-on. She said people had been all in her mentions making assumptions about how she lives, questioning her money, her education, and throwing labels on her like they knew her real situation. Starr shut all of that down fast and made it clear those claims were off base.
First off, I don't have no Obama welfare. Second of all, I'm more than educated. I graduated.
She said her work choices and how she handles her life are her business, period. If she wanted to work, she would. If she chose not to at a certain time, that was still her decision. Her point was simple. Nobody online is paying her bills, supporting her household, or taking care of her kids, so nobody gets to tell her how to move. At the same time, YoungBoy wasn't fully silent during all the chaos. On a separate Instagram Live, he responded to the broader conversation surrounding the mothers of his children. But instead of directly addressing the specific accusations or claims being made, his approach reportedly shifted toward defending himself and pushing back hard against the criticism.
Man, my house motherfucking house stay for the children, man. Hey, I'm just out of that fake. I'm out of that stage of posting it, you bitch.
YoungBoy pushed back hard against the criticism and made it clear he disagreed with the claims about his role as a father. He said his home was often filled with his kids and argued that people on the internet didn't know what happened behind closed doors. He also said he wasn't about to start posting private family moments just to prove anything to strangers online.
You want me to show every time I'm with him? You want me to show every time I'm with him? It don't matter. Hey, it don't matter if a house full of hoes in it. Hey.
In his view, his children being around him was normal, and he didn't feel the need to turn that into public evidence for social media. Then the conversation got more pointed. YoungBoy reportedly called out one of the mothers by name and questioned how child support money was being used. He suggested that funds meant for the children weren't always being spent the way they should be, and those comments instantly added more heat to the situation. He also threw out sharp words and accusations, making it clear there was serious tension behind the scenes. He didn't stop there. YoungBoy also spoke about what he described as an unfair legal system, saying he felt like the rules hit him differently and that he was being singled out while others got more leniency. And while all of this was unfolding, more voices joined the conversation. Starr Dejanee posted online as well, asking him to be as present for his children as she felt he had been in other parts of his personal life. But Yaya Mayweather's name also got pulled into the bigger conversation about YoungBoy's record as a father, and Drew had her own tense back and forths with him in the past over personal issues. When you step back and look at everything, what stands out is that these stories came from different women, different situations, and different moments, but they all added to the same bigger conversation. Each mother stepped up and shared her side. YoungBoy responded with his side too. But after all the statements, the posts, and the online back and forth, he cleared his pages and went quiet, leaving the internet to keep connecting the dots. Now the question is bigger than just one viral moment. Is this all just pressure from fame and a complicated lifestyle catching up? Or are these repeated situations pointing to deeper patterns over time? That's the real debate. If you've got thoughts on all this, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want more breakdowns like this, and tap the next video on your screen to keep watching.